Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This one's going to be kind of casual and just playing around with paint and making collage papers, painted papers, whatever you want to call them. And these are some I've done already, but I've done them on book pages and brown paper, using stencils. And I've just been having a blast making them, so I thought I would share the process. And I use these papers for collaging, like I tear up pieces and mix and match and make little collages, but I'm also using them for making some art journals, and I kind of want to record and share that process with you guys of making these journals. There's going to be about 4 of them, I think, and they're going to be probably mini journals, like that big, and they're going to have painted papers and all sorts of fun things. So I'm going to show you some of the supplies you need to make the painted papers if you're making them like me. I mean, I'm sure there's a million different ways you can do this, so just use whatever you have on hand, but if you want to pick up a few things, then totally do that too. Anyway, I'll just go over some of these materials that I'm using for the collage papers. So I'm using some acrylic paint. I love Liquitex Basics. They're fantastic for this kind of thing. And I have them in a variety of colors. These are the 4-ounce tubes, and I recommend getting these in the colors, and then maybe black and white, getting the bigger tube, the 8.45 fluid ounce tube, because you always end up using more white and more black than any of the other colors, because they're used to tint the other colors, like make them lighter or darker. So it's better to have big bottles of them because you just run through them so fast. So anyway, that's the paint. And then I love adding these inks on top. They're acrylic inks by Daler Rowney and Liquitex. And so yeah, I love using these. An example is on this paper here, I used paint in the background with the purple, and then I used some Liquitex and Daler Rowney inks on top with the white ink and the pink. And I think I even used red ink right there. And so yeah, and excuse my nails and stuff. I've been creating some art stuff, and I try to wash off all the paint, but it just gets everywhere. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. And I love using stencils, and I find that these small stencils are really easy to use because they don't take up much space. Like larger stencils just take up so much room, and so I really prefer using these small stencils. I got them off of Amazon, and I think it was only like 10 bucks for 6 of them. So yeah, totally recommend using stencils. And if you're gonna use stencils, you might want to use a makeup sponge to push the acrylic paint through. And what else do you have here? So I have some paint markers, and these are Posca, and they're really great, love them. Oh, and you can use them for like doing mark making and stuff on your papers. You can use book pages. And it's especially fun to use languages other than English because they just look really cool. So it's nice to use those. And this is just some sketch pad paper that I've cut up, and I'm gonna use these. They're already folded into the pages for the journals. So I'm just gonna keep them open like this and probably like paint them like that. And so there's those. And then I have a palette knife right here for like scooping paint and stuff. A brush for spreading paint and mark making. One of my favorite tools is my roller. So definitely gonna use this a lot. And one of the tools that is great is your fingers, and you already have them, so you can use them to spread paint around and everything, and you don't even need to use a tool, so that works too. So anyway, I suppose we should just get started. I'm just gonna get organized here. I'll put some of my things away. So what do I want to start with? I think I want to start with these sketchbook pages. The really fun part is when you paint these and you have to figure out where to let them dry. That's like the crazy part because everywhere it gets filled up with papers. So yeah, so basically I'm just gonna take one of these and lay it out like this. And I'm going to pick some colors. Okay, I'm gonna use this blue. And I just put a little bit on. And then I like to put a second color on too. Use this aqua green. Wow, that was tough. I'm gonna have to take that thing off. All right, so I'm gonna use a bit of that down here. And then I'm gonna use a bit of white down here. So I probably put on more paint than I actually need while using the roller. So what I can do is I can prepare my next piece and have it right next to it, and then just gently roll. If you roll too fast, this is what happens. See that? The paper flies up and then gets this all full with paint. I just wanted to show you that. I might actually do it accidentally too because I'm not going slow and I forget that that happens. But yeah, and that's super annoying because then you have to scrape the paint out of this thing right here. So yeah. Okay, so it actually was a perfectly fine amount of paint for this. It wasn't too much, but any excess, you just want to roll onto your next paper like that. And the papers aren't done when you do this. What you can do is well, they could be done if you wanted them to be done, but what you can do is you can come back with your stenciling, your mark making, doodling, anything when it's dry. So yeah, or while it's still wet or dry, you can also add on some inks. So this is just the acrylic ink, like I said, in a blue. And you can, well, here's what I like to do. I like to do this. So I put a bunch like this, and then I just let them run down the page. And I think that makes a really cool effect. I also often like to do prints on both sides so that when they're in the journal you don't have like one side printed and then just the other side is blank. So I like to usually do both sides. So I'm just gonna put this up to dry. And this is pretty much dry to the touch now, so I'm gonna add on some more colors. I think I'm gonna do a yellow. Ah, these are really stuck from the last time I made painted papers. So, all right. I'll put on a bit of yellow and a little bit of this olive green. And I'm gonna take this thing off. And I'm gonna get my next paper ready. Another cool thing, especially when you're making journals and stuff and collage, is this part where you rip the paper from the sketch pad. I love this. I think it adds so much cool texture, and so I don't take this part off, even though you can, but I don't. All right, so let's do this. That's really pretty. Okay, so now I'm gonna let this one dry. Oh, and sorry if you can hear my chair moving. This is kind of a move around sport, so my chair is gonna be creaking. All right, for this one, let's use some fluorescent pink. and this color. I think these look super pretty together. And I might even go over it again with the pink, just so the pink shows up more. The neon paint colors are my favorite to use. Right now, I only have fluorescent pink, but it's on my wish list to get fluorescent yellow and green and orange too. Oh, and red. So I think they'll be really fun to use. So I guess I should tell you a bit about what these are all for. So I told you I'm making some journals, some art journals, and the theme is called Moon Maidens, and it's gonna be themed around like witchy kind of themes and mystical and the moon, and it's gonna be full of bright colors, and there's gonna be like a lady on the front of each cover, and yeah. So those are the plans I have so far. And my plan is also to make them for sale. Okay, there's no paint coming off that. And yeah, so, and I don't know how long the journals are gonna take me because I've never tried to make multiple journals at one time. So I'm not really sure. And I've also been kind of a little bit down because of the situation with my cat and just some other life stuff. So I'm sure you know how that is. So I haven't been creating as much as I usually do. So I'm trying to get back into it with making this little video series. And yeah. Oh, those colors look awesome together. I love that orange. I'm getting it on my hand. Yeah, I love that orange. It's so vibrant. Okay, so I got that one. And put this back here. All right, so let's switch things up and use some book pages. All right, so which colors do I want to use? I'm gonna go for this. Take this thing off. So what's your favorite way to make painted papers and collage papers and everything? If you have a certain process that you do, I'd love to know about it. So feel free to let me know in the comments. What are your favorite materials? Favorite brands of paint? Do the folk art and Americana 2-ounce tubes work well? I've never tried them for making collage papers before. Oh, this has got a lot of paint. There we go. Oh, I also recommend working on something that you can get paint all over. This is just some brown packing paper. And I just use that as my background because I can get it nice and dirty and change it out whenever I need to. And you can always cut up this paper and use it for collage as well. So it's like dual purpose. All right. So I'd say these two are kind of wet, so I'm gonna let them dry. So yeah, this is the problem. I'm running out of space to dry my papers. It's so funny. But anyway, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going and I guess I'll lay them on the floor if I have to. Right now my cat is sleeping, so it should be okay. So I've had this red for a while, like a long while. And it's in the old packaging. This is the new packaging. This is the old packaging. And so I'm not sure if this is gonna be clumpy or not. It looks kind of clumpy. Hopefully that doesn't matter. So I'm gonna mix the red with some Payne's Gray. You only need a little bit of Payne's Gray because it's such a dark color that it will, if you put too much, it'll make everything really dark. And if that's what you're going for, that works. But if you want the red to still show through, then don't put on too much. But it's good to have dark backgrounds too, because when you do the stenciling, you can use like a light colored paint through the stencil on a dark background, and it can look really cool. So yeah, just a little tip for you. I keep doing that, where the paper rolls up. Oh, I'd also like to give a little shout out to the Painted Witch Studio, I think is her name on YouTube and Instagram. And then the art of the Métis Mama. Those two YouTubers slash journalers, artists, what have you, are really lovely ladies, and their work is really inspiring. I think they're both new to YouTube, so definitely check them out. I will actually link them in the description below, and yeah, check them out. They're making some really cool stuff on their channels, and they're really inspiring. The Painted Witch has these fabric beads that she makes out of like yarn and straws and stuff, and I'd really love to try that myself. And so yeah, she has really great tutorials, so definitely check them out. And the Métis Mama, she makes spirit dolls and like with her own hand-drawn faces, and just her creativity is amazing. So yeah, definitely check them both out. So give them some love. Say Sasha sent you. All right, so we got these. And so the fun thing about this is we're just putting down the first layers. We never know exactly how they're gonna turn out till we're finished. And that's like a big part of the fun, the mystery. All right, I think I'm gonna go back to doing my little sketch papers. Are they right here? Yeah, they're right here. Okay, I think. Have I used this yet? I really love this turquoise blue. It's so pretty. Man, these little paint things that come out and stick to the lid are so annoying. There we go. All right, so, but as you can see, your hands start to get super painty, and they look cool, but it's hard to get off. There's these gloves that you can wear. Well, they're not really gloves. It's this cream that you put on your hands, and it acts as a barrier between your skin and the paint. And supposedly it makes the paint really easy to wash off your hands after you're done. So yeah, I've always wanted to check that out. I forget what it's called though, so I'm not that helpful. But yeah. All right. And, there's lots of excess paint this time. And I think with this one, I'm going to put some of this quinacridone magenta on it, like that. And then the quinacridone magenta is kind of dark. So what I like to do is I like to take white ink, and the thing here is kind of broken, but yeah. And I like to take white ink and do that. And then what we can do is we can take this paper and smush it. no, is it stuck? And then I think I have more paint on here. So yeah, I think these are super pretty, like that. And the white paint brings out the magenta color by making it lighter, so. All right. Let's see if there's any paint behind here. Oh, a little bit. All right. Let's use some more fluorescent pink. I'm almost out, so when I have to order my next round of fluorescent pink, I'm definitely gonna get those other neon colors too. Let's do that with some of this orange. Pink and orange look pretty together. And maybe a touch of this green. Just a little dab. So I'm going slow because I don't want the paper to run up on me. I'm gonna run some of this off on here. Now when the green mixes with the orange, it produces this brown, which is kind of muddy, and that's why I only put a little bit of the green on here. It's because I knew it would make it muddy, and the muddiness kind of looks nice, like in certain areas, but you don't want the whole thing to be like this. So yeah, just a tip. Any excess, any little bit of excess that's on here that's brown, I'm just gonna roll on my surface right here. All right. And then what I'm gonna do with this is I think I'm gonna add some green. I love this green so much. You have to shake it though, because it separates like overnight. So you have to shake it, and then it's called Vivid Lime Green. I love it. So let's see, maybe let's do some drawing. So I'm gonna do a little rainbow. And some dots. I'm gonna flip it around. And let's see, maybe I'll do another rainbow. Go. So this is going to take a little while to dry, and because I want the rainbow to actually look like a rainbow, I'm not going to smush it down with another piece of paper because that will make it like smudge everywhere. It won't keep the rainbow shape. So, yep. All right. This is my last piece of sketchbook paper. And then I only have a few of these left, so that's good. Put down a little bit of blue. And maybe a little bit of this. And because the blue is so dark, I'm gonna add some white after I take this little skin off. I have more of the, I think it's Korean writing. Looks like Korean to me, but I could be wrong. All right, now let's take some of this. I'm gonna go over this one again a little bit. And maybe let's use some of this clumpy black. I need to get a new black too because this is so clumpy. It seems to work well with the roller, but when I try and paint with it, it's super, super clumpy. So, yeah. All right, I only have 2 pages left. So I'm gonna finish these, and afterwards, I'm gonna let the papers all dry. And then we'll come back in part 2 of the video, in the next video, and we will put on the finishing touches, play with inks and stencils and doodling and mark making, and really finish off these papers nicely. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That would mean the world to me, and it really helps my channel grow and this information get out to the people who need it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.